Alright guys, so welcome into the comic book section of haul video number 103. Do have a couple of hauls here, two orders from IST and an order from Books A Million. Reason why is because I recently renewed my membership with Books A Million. So for anyone who isn't familiar with Books A Million, they do offer a annual membership for a discount card, and the annual price I think is $25, which I certainly make my money back with that like pretty quickly. It equates to 10% off all of your purchases in store and online, I believe. So and you also get free shipping online, which is also really cool too. But so I renewed my membership recently, and I got a $10 gift card to use. So I went ahead and purchased a book that was on my IST wish list for a while, and really happy to get that. But it was funny because when I initially redeemed the coupon, it told me $30 off, and I'm like, whoa, this seems like an oversight that I can take advantage of. And sure enough, when I went to go check out, it told me there's an error and I need to re-enter the card, and it came up to $10. So I was like, darn, I wish I could have saved an extra 20 bucks there, but regardless, I was happy to get what I got. So the book I ended up purchasing with that was the first book of Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So for anyone who's been watching my haul videos knows I'm a huge Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips fan. I have essentially almost every single book that they've ever done together. Criminal, Fatale, Fade Out, Kill or Be Killed, Pulp. So this is like one of the newer lines of books that they've been creating, and I believe I have an IST order that is ordering the next two books of this series. I think the third book of this series just came out in hardcover, so I'm trying to stay on top of this, but gotta say off the bat, this is a beautiful book. You can see here the spine. It honestly threw me for a loop because the page count was pretty low on this, but looking at the book, I mean, it seems like it's a lot more, but maybe it's because it's a higher, thicker page, quality there and stuff like that. But yeah, very excited to read this. I honestly don't know too much about this, honestly. So I'm going into this pretty blind, but honestly, with Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, I mean, anything they create, I will essentially buy because, I mean, their track record is phenomenal. I would say more phenomenal than really any modern day creative group out there. There hasn't really been anything that they've created that I disliked. Obviously, there's stuff that I like more than others, but there's nothing that I really disliked. Every story was just so good, and they're such quick reads, right? As soon as I pick them up, like I can't put them down until I finish it. Like it's that addictive. So again, really excited to read this, and once I have the whole series collected, which I don't know how many of these they plan to create, I'm planning to do a readathon of that. So yeah, very excited. And again, this is from Image, so really nice paper quality there, and it's also sealed in shrink wrap, which is really cool too. All right, next book I got here, just continuing on with some series that I'm trying to finish up collecting, and that is Morning Glories, Volume 8. This collects issues. I don't know, annoying how they don't put the issues on the front of the book, back of the book. Issues 39 through 42. So this is another small volume here. You can see here some of the interior art going on. I think now I only have two more volumes left to buy, volume 9 and 10. I think that's when the series concludes, volume 10. So very excited to read this. Nick Spencer, as I mentioned numerous times before, read a little bit of his Spider-Man run when it was coming out and really enjoyed it. So very excited to dive into that at some point as well. So very cool. Next two books here are some Epic collections that I have been having on my radar for a little bit, and decided to go ahead and pick up because they are continuing runs of, oh, I hit the camera there, continuing runs of these characters that I had previous Epic collections of. So honestly, anytime I see an Epic collection that comes right up against one I already own, I'm definitely more inclined to purchase it because you know, I like to continue my readathons of characters if I can, if it's possible. Sometimes it's not, just because it hasn't been collected yet, but with these characters it was. And the first one here I have is the Epic Collection of Daredevil Dead Man's Hand. This has Fabian Nicieza, all the other creators I am not familiar with, so I apologize, but this collects issues 301 through 311 of Daredevil, annual number 8, Nomad 4 through 6, Punisher War Journal numbers 45 through 47, and material from Marvel Holiday Special number 2. And this represents volume 16 of the Daredevil line, with 1992 and 1993 represented in this book. So you can see here the back, very nice. Here's the spine, a little bit smaller book here, 463 pages, which is slightly smaller. You're getting into some of that crazy 90s stuff here. So you can see here this cover, pretty crazy here, but no, I'm very excited to read this. I can't remember which one this comes after. I think this comes after the Last Rites Epic Collection. So hence the reason why I went out and bought this, so that way I can continue that kind of late 80s, early 90s Daredevil run that I have kind of assembled here. I have, so I think a couple of videos ago I showed off Heart of Darkness Epic Collection. So now I have Touch of Typhoid, Heart of Darkness, Last Rites, and now this one. So I don't think they all go exactly together. I think there's a gap between two of them, but regardless, very excited to get this. And again, really sucky that this is you know, going up in price. This was $45 cover, so but I did use my recent discount to get some extra money off of that. It's really it can be a difference sometimes with how much these are becoming expensive now. So but yeah, very excited to read that, and hopefully you know, my plan is, I'm really hoping that Marvel launches a season 4 of Daredevil on Disney Plus, you know, with Charlie Cox, since they bought back the rights from Netflix on those shows. So I'm hopeful that they'll relaunch the series with Daredevil and Charlie Cox. I'm almost certain it's going to come at some point. At that point, that's when I will probably kick into gear my rereadathon of, not really reread, but my readathon of Daredevil stuff that I haven't read already, which is those epics, and then Mark Waid's run. Everything else I've pretty much read already, so I don't need to reread that, obviously. But yeah, very excited to hopefully revisit the character, you know, in anticipation of the upcoming show. Hopefully, if it gets announced, we'll see. But anyways, the next book I got here was another epic that was really like kind of just floating on my wish list for a while. Was hesitant to pick it up because with the X-Men books, you know, it gets to a point where the Omnibus pretty much include all of the secondary titles, so it's kind of hard to decide, you know, what to pick up and what to not get to avoid double dipping and stuff like that. So went ahead and picked up volume 3 of XFactor, which collects issues 21 through 36 and annual number 3 and power pack number 35. So I hope I did my research. I think I did. I took a look at some of the X-Men books I have and just made sure that this didn't super double dip with any of them, but I don't think I currently own anything that super double dips with this. There are some X-Men epics that are coming out now, like Executioner Song and Extinction Agenda, I think, are two of them that I already have collected in like the collections that are named to that. So I've been trying to avoid those because I'm like, I already have that stuff. Like, I may be missing a few issues here and there, but like, it's not significant enough for me to want to go out and upgrade. So yeah, I picked this up. You can see here the back. This, I think I already announced what it collects, but you can see here we're getting into the late 80s, not really early 90s, but late 80s of XFactor here. So I did get volume 1 of XFactor a while ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. This is volume 3, so I'm assuming they're going to be coming out with volume 2 shortly, or I don't think they already have. I think these are the only 2 XFactor volumes from like the beginning that we have. I do have the Peter David XFactor volumes. I think there's 2 of them that I have. Dissolution and Rebirth and Examinations. So these will go right before that as well, but you can see here Archangel on the back. The epic collection of this is called Angel of Death, so pretty accurate there. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. You know, I think XFactor is a pretty cool series, and you know, I kind of want to collect all those before I read them together, you know, consecutively, because I'm just curious to see how they'll like split this up going forward, because like, you know, it eventually gets to a point where all these volumes, all these like titles intermingle with each other. So like the question will then become, it's like which epic gets certain like events or titles like represented in their epics. Like that can be challenging, and they may just not even address it, which honestly it doesn't have to, you don't have to collect every single volume of every single epic. As long as it's represented in a different book, that's fine with me. So but yeah, so let's look at something else here as well. So the last book I have here is a omnibus that was waiting for a while. I think it was originally slated to come out in either November or December of 2021, and it got delayed like numerous times to the point where it honestly almost fell off my radar until I saw people, you know, posting on Facebook saying they purchased their copy. And so I was honestly just waiting for the day where IST uploaded it onto their page for purchase, and I went ahead and picked it up, and that is the third omnibus of Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America, titled Captain America Lives. And I opted for the Alex Ross cover, and I'm so glad I did, because that cover is just absolutely beautiful. You know, such a really, I love Alex Ross as an artist. I think that's an understatement. You know, everyone really loves his art, but you can see here the back cover roll. Marvel knows the art of the relaunch. Steve Rogers lives. So this collects issues 43 through 50, and numbers 600 through 601, and Reborn numbers 1 through 4, and Reborn Prologue, all written by Ed Brubaker, illustrated by Brian Hitch, Jackson Gooch, Gene Colan, Steve Epstein, and Luke Ross. So yeah, very excited to get this. Marvel has been pumping these out the last year or so, and I've been steadily keeping up with it because these books were super out of print for the longest time. And with the, you know, with the revitalization of Captain America as a character in the MCU, with, you know, Steven, you know, with Sam Wilson, and you know, Bucky in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, and they talks about a Captain America 4 being in the works. You know, they've been trying to pump these out, and now all I need to do is wait for the last two, which I believe is the Trial of Captain America, and I can't remember the last one is. It's like Captain America, like Bucky or Reborn. I forget what it is, but yeah, I'm sorry if I don't know what that is. But yeah, very excited to get this. You can see here the spine. These are all really thin books, and you know, honestly, I'm happy about that, because I think this is going to be a quick read, and you know, very, very excited to have that. You know, that was kind of like the one series that was somewhat eluding me with my Captain America collection, right? Like I have, like I said before, I think I pretty much have almost every single epic collection that Marvel has released with Captain America, which is a lot. Like compared to any other character, they've pumped out a crap ton of epics for Captain America. And you know, I have Rick Remender's run, I have Nick Spencer's run, and this was the only run that was kind of eluding me for a while there. So really wanted to pick that up, and really excited that Marvel's given collectors the opportunity to collect it again, because it is one of the most acclaimed runs. Like when people ask like where they start with Captain America as like a book, this run is the place that people recommend. And you know, I'm very excited to explore that. And obviously I want to read kind of everything before that to kind of appreciate what Ed Brubaker alludes to in his series. So you know, we'll see how this goes, but yeah, very excited to have that. And now I just need to wait for the fourth one to come out, and then the fifth one. So fingers crossed that they come out soon, so that way I can collect it all and kind of put that section of my collection to rest there. But yeah, anyways, guys, that is my comic book haul for this week. A lot of good stuff. Very excited to get all this. Really, all this stuff was really stuff that I needed for my collection, and I wanted to have, and stuff that I'm really looking forward to reading, which again is kind of where I'm heading towards my collection. I want to get to a point where like everything that I have on my shelves is stuff that I either have already read or things that I am really looking forward to reading. And I think I'm getting to that point with my collection really. Like I'm buying with a purpose, if that makes any sense. Like buying stuff to fill in gaps of my collection that I already own. So very excited to be getting there. And yeah, this is part of that. And thank you guys so much for watching the comic book section of haul video number 103.